Welcome into Zions Bank Stadium for this Western Conference matchup between the Tulsa Roughnecks and the home side, the Real Monarchs. Chad Barrett alongside Landon Southwick for the call of tonight's game. Chad, an exciting one. Two different teams in two different situations, but both teams capable of providing something entertaining tonight.
King of the mountain versus bottom of the barrel. You never know what you're going to get in these games, but the one thing you definitely know is that the Real Monarchs are going to come out with a lot of fire, a lot of fight. They're back home, going for their 10th straight win at home, coming off a disappointing loss at OKC Energy last week or midweek, and it's another Oklahoma team. You can't go 0-2 against Oklahoma. They almost lost them at the beginning of this season, and that just kind of started a real rough kind of trend for the Tulsa Roughnecks. They really haven't rebounded since that. Joaquin Rivas, one of their best scorers and their only real scorer on this team, is not going to be here tonight. Had 2 goals in the first game. Real dramatics left in that last game, scoring in the 89th and 90th minute. Now it's kind of just what's going to happen here. How do they right that ship? How do they not concede consecutive losses? As you see the teams walking out on the pitch, Tulsa coming in on a 2-1 victory over Colorado, an important victory for them. Their second of the season, 2-10-10 on the season, 16 points, and the Monarchs 15-6-2, 47 points. And they're in an important situation. The Monarchs need to continue to pick up victories. Orange County now sitting even with them on points with 47, but the Monarchs with 2 games in hand. 2 games in hand, but you know that's really nothing. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you don't take care of business, that can be absolutely 0 points. This is an opportunity for them to be here at home at Zions Bank Stadium, where they've just been almost impenetrable on defense, not giving up very many goals, scoring a lot of goals as of late. They've given up 1 goal here and there on a little bit of sloppy defensive plays. This is one of those games where you come in, can we get a 5-0 win? Can we get a 6-0? Can we really make a statement against teams that aren't good enough to be on the field with them?
We'll check out the starting lineups for both sides, starting with the visiting Tulsa Roughnecks.
Tulsa Roughnecks, like I said, without Joaquin Rivas, has 9 goals on the season. The only person that is close to that is Paris Guy in the midfield. Look for him to pull the strings. He's a defender by trade, but he's been doing so good offensively. He's been moved up to the midfield. And with limited options, with Santiago Maidana going down with season-ending injury, you have Fabian Serter, the only real stalwart in goal. He's got the most saves, 82 on the season. And then you have Del Greco, Vukovic, Morton, and Munoz across the back line. Covarrubias and Servano will be serving in from their wings. Perez and Diaz up top, and like we said, Guy and Ferreira in the middle.
And on the opposite side, here's how the Monarchs will line up for tonight's matchup.
And a welcome sight to see Sebastian Velasquez slots back in after his 2-game absence, leads the team with 7 goals along with Chandler Hoffman. Look for them to really build on. This is something their eyes should light up, and they should see that they have a chance to really pad their stats. Master Cashier comes in after a couple games off for Josh Hurd, or I'm sorry, for Michael Chang, who's dealing with a little bit of an ankle injury. Josh Hurd is going to be on the other side. Jack Blake with an unbelievable goal in his last game, looking to build on that. The only thing you don't see is Charlie Adams, 2 goals in 2 last games, 4 goals on the season. He's going to start on the bench. Look for him to come in the game late. Andrew Brody, Kalen Ryan, and Conrad Plua making a rare start. James Mober back in lineup on the right side. And Adam Greenwas coming on loan from Orlando City in place for the amazing amount of injuries that have just plagued RSL this year, just begging for keepers to come. But every keeper that has come has stepped up. You have Andrew Putna starting tonight. Jacob Bleeker's on the bench for them with an injured Nick Raimondo. Now we have Adam Greenwas, who is here just for 1 training session last day, but he's good. He's a little ninja. He's going to be in the back. It's going to be the only thing that's kind of you have to worry about is the communication with his defense. How is that going to interfere with this play? You don't expect a lot of attacking soccer from Tulsa. Hopefully this will be a good game to break him in.
And that's one of those things that you have to face, and the Monarchs have faced all season long. The back line has been one of those items that they've switched game in and game out. Moberg's been a center back some of the season, now playing outside back tonight. So you're seeing some of that. Ryden's done the same thing. You're seeing some of that shifting. So that's going to be a big point of emphasis for the Monarchs tonight, making sure they control the back line and the keeper and that they stay on the same page.
Absolutely right. It's not that they want to, it's because they have to. A lot of times RSL send down some players to get some minutes. Taylor Pay, David Horst, Marcelo Silva. We just had Adam Henley come down. Aaron Herrera's playing games, Danny Acosta. And that seems to be the only position where they're really bringing in players to get time because of the limited minutes that they're getting with the first team. So it's getting to a point where you kind of have to fill in. I know Moberg's just dying to get back on. Kalen Ryan and Andrew Brody didn't start last game because of DeMar Phillips, been one of their best players on the season. Now he's back on that left side, and he's looking to make an impression along the side with Master Kasher. And as we get going here, both teams lining up. It's a beautiful night, the first night that we don't see sun just breaking through the clouds here. So it's going to be very mild temperature. Expect a very exciting game. You're looking for a big offensive output from the Real Monarchs. They want to make a statement here against the Tulsa Roughnecks.
Should be an exciting one. As I mentioned, the Monarchs entering tonight's match with a 15-6-2 record with 47 points to sit atop the Western Conference. As Chad mentioned, Tulsa sitting on the opposite end of the Western Conference standing, 2-10-10 on the season, 16 points, but coming off an important 2-1 victory over Colorado Springs. Goals in the 55th and 71st. Gamble and Rivas were the goal scorers. Monarchs are going to be moving from north to south, or right to left, here at Zions Bank Stadium. They're in their Clairton Cobalts. Tulsa in their all whites.
And their head coach, Michael Nasian, he spoke about his optimistic approach to this game. Coming off that win, just kind of building up from there, and what can we get on this side?
And a shot attempt from Tulsa. Brody couldn't get that out from under his feet for a second there.
An early chance here from the Tulsa Roughnecks. That's a very good start. And just as I was speaking about the optimism from their coach, it's something where you've had such a tiring season and you had such a long season where it's just been draw, tie after loss, tie after loss, tie after loss, with only 2 wins sprinkled in. But you're just coming off a win now, coming to the league leaders in Real Monarchs. What can you do? A tie would feel like a win to this team.
We're going to throw in for Tulsa, just across the midfield stripe. Plua looking forward to Hoffman. It'll take a deflection. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Chandler Hoffman, 7 goals, 3 assists on the season. Wearing the captain's armband for the Monarchs tonight.
Hasn't really scored goals in bunches, obviously, like he did last year, and that's obviously frustrating for him. He signed his new deal with the new expansion Birmingham team coming into the USL next year. Congratulations to that. He scored, the last goal he scored was right after he signed that contract. Now he needs to come back. They have James Ray Charles coming in. Juan Mayer has done well when he's come off the bench. He needs to do more to keep his spot there in the front and just secure it for the rest of the season, because he's very important to the success, much like Sebastian Velasquez is of the Real Monarchs.
Ball being swung along the back line. Brody's going to cross the midfield stripe. He's looking for Cashier. Pulls wide. He'll cut in. Gets it out wide to Cashier. Cashier's touch gets away from him. Takes a deflection. And it's going to be a goal kick. Looked like it possibly could have been a corner kick there.
Master Cashier's not fighting it, so you're pretty sure. It was good defensive play there by the Tulsa Roughnecks to just make sure they see it out. Well, good individual ability there by Andrew Brody to get the ball out to Master Cashier. Touch was just a little bit too heavy. Leads to a goal kick for the Roughnecks.
Serda with the goal kick.
And sometimes you want to be the league leader in a lot of things, but I'm guaranteed that Fabian Serda does not want to be the league leader in saves. But that's, you know, when you have a 2-10-10 record, that's something you can expect to see out of the goalkeeper.
This is his 22nd appearance of the 2018 season, 82 saves on the season, leads the USL, 3 clean sheets and 41 goals conceded. All the way back to the keeper.
And obviously that's not a product of his ability, it's more of what kind of stress and pressure he's been under. And there we see Adam Greenwald's not on the same page as his defender, as we talked about pregame a little bit, where just that first pass is very important for him to get another ball into his feet and try and make a pass that completes it to the defender after that.
You hope that's not one of those things that comes back to bite you for the Monarchs. Obviously, being associated with an MLS side occasionally has its benefits, but can have its negatives in a situation where there's injuries and players are moving up really rapidly. I don't think we've ever seen a situation quite like this, but for this organization, had to bring in a keeper real quick to get him in this game. You'll see the officials for tonight's game: Elton Garcia, Delena Quinn, Joshua Mills, and Brad Jensen is the 4th official for tonight.
Go again.
And just was speaking to Jacob Leaker over the week as he gets called in for the Houston game. He was the 4th keeper on the depth chart here at RSL at this affiliation, and all of a sudden now he's the second goalkeeper. If anything happens to Andrew Puna tonight in the RSL game, he's stepping in, much like Andrew Puna, who was out for 3 months, came back, signed a first team contract 2 weeks later, and now he's starting in his first professional game.
Monarchs missing one of their playmakers tonight, Michael Chang. Suffered a slight knock in training on his ankle. Hoping to get back soon. Nice combination there from the Monarchs. Ball back wide to Cashier, and the flag is up on the far side. But a good combination here early on in this one.
Yeah, it's good to see Chandler getting that space, especially at the top of the 18. He will salivate at the chance that he gets there, especially where he can turn and run at defenders. But that's just not good enough from the Tulsa Roughnecks, from the two center backs. They have to have better communication. Someone has to pick up Chandler. You can't have a forward picking up a ball and turning with it at his feet 20 yards from your goal and being able to do with what he pleases.
Ball's going to be out. It'll be a throw-in for Moberg. Michael Nisian has been the head coach for 7 games now, 8 games, including tonight. He's a 2-2-3 record for him on the season. He's a Tulsa native.
Sometimes that's what you need, 2-2-3 record. That's completely respectable. 2-10-10 isn't respectable. You can see why there was a coaching change needed there. Sometimes you need to change what's going on at the top of the snake, and sometimes that can have a great effect. Sometimes it can have a negative effect. But as you saw from RSL last year, changing from Jeff Cassar to Mike Pecky, it took a little while, probably 10 games for them to find their groove. But then all of a sudden, everybody started buying into Mike Pecky's strategy, and the team has done well since.
Monarchs a little lackadaisical so far with their passing. See if they can connect things up and clean it up here as the match moves along. Ryden. Wide to Brody. Cashier defended by 2. Play back to the keeper. Chad. First observation so far, 7 minutes into this one. Lackadaisical at best from the Monarchs so far.
Lackadaisical at best is right. They've had a really hard time starting, coming out, firing right out of the gate, and that's been home and away. They've had a lot of problems.
Cashier inside the box. Cashier shot up and over the bar. Therda did a good job to come out and make himself big to rush Cashier, but a decent opportunity for the Monarchs.
Well, Cashier takes that touch to his left. He's very right foot dominant. As that ball comes in, it's a tough ball to control. Kind of comes off his knee rather than his thigh. Just takes a snap at it. As you said, Serta does a great job closing down that space, and he just sends it harmlessly over the Zion Bank Stadium for a goal kick.
8th minute of play here at Zions Bank Stadium. Still scoreless between these two sides.
But this has been the Real Monarchs' problem ever since the World Cup break. They were notoriously well known for coming out and starting out hot and really putting a team under pressure. That hasn't been the case so far. It's been 15 minutes. It takes a goal from the other team to wake them up. It takes something else to get them into this game. It's hard to get up for a game against somebody at the bottom of the cellar, but this is the games that you have to win. These are the statements that you have to make when you're a good, dominant team. You have to show it.
You'll see a replay look at that. Hurd tried to get on the outside of Vukovic.
Call that the Landon Donovan tackle right there. As it's going in, you just kind of brush his back leg, make it try and look like he actually kicked himself, and he goes down. Landon Donovan got away with it a lot more than Josh Hurd just did, but that could have just been the Landon Donovan case.
I thought you were going to say me. I'm not an attacker, so I didn't ever get to do things like that.
Well, I've never seen you play soccer, so.
Well, we're going to have to play.
We're going to have to play.
You'll know that you're better than me, but we'll sure things up one of these days.
Well, I hope I would be. You know, the knee injury and all, you know, I'm hoping that 13 years of experience left me with something good.
Looking up over top. Ryden's going to try to cut that off. He'll head it wide, and Brody will get under it. Brody's going to keep it in along the touchline. Cashier's going to go forward. Nice combination from the Monarchs there. Brody looking to find Hoffman. Ball was out in front of him. It'll be cleared away by Del Greco.
Yeah, nice 1-2 there from Masakasha and Energy. Brody open up space, but as soon as he gets there, you'd like to see more defining runs from the people in front of him. Not a whole lot of movement, not a whole lot of options. As Brody gets double teamed there, need a little bit more liveliness up top.
Velasquez will take it backwards for the Monarchs.
Monarchs always love seeing Sebastian Velasquez back in there after his 2 games off he had. So now he's back in here. He always comes in. Last game that he was out, he had a goal and an assist. So hopefully he comes back and he can provide some of that magic for the Monarchs again. The Tulsa Roughnecks look for him to key on him.
Looked like a light foul there as Blake goes down under the challenge. Corbarubius. It'll be a free kick for the Monarchs as you'll get a replay look at that. Almost looked like he was going to get up and try to go quickly, but he'll think otherwise and let Portillo have an opportunity.
Yeah, Jack Blake doing a good job there, understanding the situation, seeing that Covarrubias was coming in a little bit fast, just puts his body in the way, takes a little bit of a hit, goes down. Justin Portillo, he's kind of their long-range taker. He's not setting it up to hit a knuckle puck right here. Looks like he could either serve in a cross or he could serve in a shot right here. These ones to the back post, if you have good guys crashing, it's all up to the Tulsa Roughnecks to hold that high line and help their keeper out.
Portillo with 4 assists on the season. Cashiers wide, 4-man wall in front of him. He'll take a crack right into the wall, comes back to him. He'll take a shot again. He'll take a deflection. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs.
From that distance, it's going to take a very special shot with the instep of your foot to beat a big keeper like Serta in that situation. You'd like to see him come in. He can hit a good knuckleball. Like to see him come in, just try and make it dance a little bit. Make the keeper make a save, if nothing else. It's always tough to see those balls coming in. If you can make it bounce on the turf, that's even better because you never know what kind of bounce you're going to get off this turf.
Throw in for Tulsa. I'd like to welcome all those of you tuning in tonight on ESPN+. Velasquez, one defender, gets around the defender, shot! And a save, been a big save there by Therda. Made a good first initial save, but wasn't parried completely away and had to acrobatically make the second save.
3 great things coming into this play. Unbelievable play. Masakasa to Jack Blake. Chandler Hoffman lays it off to Sebastian Velasquez, who just dances around his defender like he normally does. Serta does a good job to make the initial save, does an even better job to make the save after, and pushes it wide for a corner kick.
Okay, corner kick from the Monarchs. Driven, looking back post. Plua rises. Ryden takes a shot. He'll take another deflection. It'll be a second corner here of the match for the Monarchs.
Call for a handball there. Wasn't anything obvious. Looked to be too low. It's hard to discern what is handball and what is ball to hand. That's all up to the referee's discretion. So just going to line it up again, go for the corner kick, see if they be as dangerous.
Ball driven in, near post. Falls to Velasquez. He'll take a crack through distance. And a goal! Chandler Hoffman redirects it for the goal.
And how many goals did we see last year like this for Chandler Hoffman? He probably had 7 or 8 goals where it was exactly this. Balls from corner kicks, comes in, gets out. Nobody's at the top of the box. Sebastian Velasquez, the most dangerous player on the field, is at the top of the box by himself. Great touch to put on his left foot, line himself up, and where's Chandler Hoffman? Exactly where he needs to be. He has that Chris Wondolowski type feeling for where he needs to be positionally, and he knows that, if anything, Sebastian Velasquez is going to put this on target. I just need to be in front of their keeper. And luckily, it goes right to him, to his foot. Easy redirection, 1-0.
Well, and that last angle gave you a good look at where he was sitting onside and did a good job just to redirect that goal. It'll be his 8th goal a season. Sebastian Velasquez with the assist. His 4th of the 2018 season.
And already Sebastian Velasquez back with the team, making an immediate impact as he always does. Setting up Chandler Hoffman for an absolute tap-in stat pattern. That's exactly what you want. This is where the Monarchs need to go, and they need to lift off and score the 2nd goal and score the 3rd goal and put the Tulsa Roughnecks out of this game before they're even into it. And that is really disappointing. Really disappointing for the Tulsa Roughnecks. You come in here, give up an early goal to the league leaders in Real Monarchs. It's not going to be an easy hill to climb, especially without their leading goal scorer here.
Monarchs have outscored opponents by 17 goals here at Zions Bank Stadium. 6 clean sheets here at home, and 31 of 33 possible points taken here.
Clean sheet is, like you said, that's the only thing that really matters now to Jamison Olave and his coaching staff, is keeping that 0. 1, it's good for the team. 2, it's good for Adam Grinwas, who now has that little bit of a buffer that he can work with. He's only with the team for 1 day. He looks like a very short, athletic goalkeeper, very strong. The way he was moving around, he's very good shot stopper. Doesn't really couldn't see how he was when he comes out and takes corner kicks and his decision making. And we saw already he was a little bit errant with one of his passes. That looked to be more of a miscommunication between him as a defender.
Ball's going to cross the line there, and it'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Portillo's going to wait for Brody. Select the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest select products and special offers, please visit selectamericasports.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Velasquez with a nice turn there. Out wide to Cashier. Back post is heard. He'll take a crack and parried away.
Yeah, really good awareness there from Fabian Serta to make sure he didn't go up his near post. Master on his unfavored left foot. Great ball in, slipped in here from Santiago. Good play, good turn here by Sebastian Velasquez. Good run by Master. Nobody in the box. Chandler's is out wide. Why not have a shot? Almost sneaks it in near post. Fabian Serta knocks it out for a corner.
Portillo will take the third corner of the match for the Monarchs. Look for Ryden making that near post run. Looking back post. Moberg heads it back across the 6. Keeper has to put his hand on it, but kept in by the Monarchs. Portillo will serve it again. Looking back post. Dropped and cleared. Monarchs going to have to defend here. Brody getting on his horse. Defending. And he's able to clean it up from Ferreira.
Very important play there from Andrew Brody. Ferreira does a good job to get onto this ball, but it's a 1v1 defender, and Andrew Brody doesn't bite at all for his tricks and his little dishes. So he comes in here. Brody does a good job, just escorts it out for a throw-in, averts the danger, allows his team to reset. As it comes in here, another great save by Serta. You're probably going to be saving that all night. And if you want to be saving great saves by Serta, that's the only thing that Michael Neeson wants to be able to hear. Because if not, this game could turn very ugly. Had 2-3 very glorious chances without the goal already for the Real Monarchs. Could be a very long night for the Tulsa Roughnecks, and Fabian Serta in goal.
Like we mentioned, he's making his 22nd appearance, leads the league in saves, and has continued to put some quality saves up tonight for Tulsa.
Already made 3 big saves tonight. You can expect his league-leading 82 saves to rise exponentially in this game and really set him apart from the rest of the goalkeepers in USL.
All the way back to the keeper. Moberg, the University of Washington product. Back to Kalen Ryden.
Getting that goal early for the Monarchs, that really sets it up to be a statement game, because not only could they have that lead, but at the same time, this is where they can get 4 or 5 goals and really just bury the Tulsa Roughnecks and give themselves a lot of confidence, because they haven't really put a good string of games together, except for here at home. When they're away, they seem to lose that same kind of pizzazz that they play with here at home.
All wide to Cashier. Cashier, step over, shot, and a nice, beautiful shot, parried away, up over top, just pushed wide.
Great step over here from Master Cashier. As he gets himself one-on-one, he's only got one idea. He's done good getting in behind. First time he has a chance to get the ball at his feet, kind of run as defender. This is the one he does in practice all the time. Nice little pull here, step over to his right, just moves it to his right and hits a nice little knuckler off the end of his toe and sets it up for a corner kick, which the Monarchs have proven that they are more than dangerous tonight on.
4th corner of the match. Jack Blake will take it from the right side. Driven. Can't beat the first defender. It'll be headed away. And Tulsa trying to break. Brody there to knock it away again for the Monarchs.
Just can't really tell right now what they were set up in a 4-4-2 on the team sheet, but Spoken, they've kind of also transitioned. They play a 4-2-3-1 at times. That seems to be more what they're doing here, and that's what they have to do. They have to get guys forward. They have to be able to create opportunities. Expect Route 1 to be Tulsa's best friend tonight, because that's what's been hurting here at the Monarchs, is they're not the fastest in the back. So can they get some speed? Can they get some well-timed runs and some good balls in behind and try and put some pressure? Good ball here for Morton.
So far, opportunities. Morton out wide. Morton picks up his head. Space in front of him. He'll clip it back post. Moberg's there, but over his head. Inside the 18. And Plua will clear. Hoffman tries to collect to play it to Sebastian Velasquez, but picked up his head a little bit before that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you make your mind up what you want to do a little bit too early. You're not sure whether or not you have that pressure on your back. He didn't really give a look up. He tries to take that touch in behind. It would have been a 2-on-2. Chandler Hoffman and Sebastian Velasquez going at any two defenders in this league. I give them the edge.
Monarchs spreading this Zions Bank Stadium field edge to edge. 120 by 75, the same exact dimensions as Rio Tinto Stadium, home of Real Salt Lake.
These are different conditions than they probably played in all year here at home.
Blake, he's inside the 18, trying to get it to Hoffman.
Normally here at home, they're playing in 90 to 100-degree heat, and their feet are burning. Now they have a chance to actually really use this beautiful night to their advantage and work the ball. Let the ball do the work. Let Tulsa do most of the defending. Tire them out as much as you possibly can, and that'll open up chances throughout the game.
Velasquez will be called for the foul. Tulsa has scored 21 goals on the season, conceded 46, excuse me. They're the 4th in the league in goals conceded. Monarchs on the opposite side, 39 goals scored, 40, excuse me, tonight, and 25 conceded.
I feel bad for the back four. The movement in the midfield and up top is poor to very poor, and they're pretty much just statues at this point. They have nobody to pass to. That's why there's so many turnovers in the midfield, because the Real Monarchs are alert to every single play, whereas it seems the Tulsa Roughnecks are just flat-footed as can be.
Brody. Throw it in, looking to cash air. Morton is able to get a touch on it. Falls to Portillo. To Blake. Blake's pass was just behind Sebastian Velasquez, and it'll be a giveaway. Tulsa on the counter here, out wide.
Fantastic touch there by Paris Guy to get past the Real Monarchs player.
Guy shot just wide. But a good opportunity there from Tulsa. And one of the things that you mentioned, Chad, the Monarchs cannot fall asleep on the counter, because that's really the only thing Tulsa has going forward.
That's the only thing they have going forward. They're looking in behind. There's, no midfield play. The checking to the ball hasn't proved to provided any fruits. So now this is what you need. You need to score from set pieces. You need to score from counterattacks. That's how you're going to beat or tie the Real Monarchs here at home. Diaz will take the first corner of the match for Tulsa. Looking back post, and there will be a foul. 2 hands in the back. Well, that's who you want to find. John Perez right there in the middle of the big, tall center forward. Put it on his head. Find some distracting runs, some unselfish runs by his other teammates. You can see his center back gets called here. Center back here gets called for pushing the back, trying to open up space for him. And Sebastian Velasquez is down on the field again, sitting down with an apparent injury. Not sure when he picked it up, but Marshall Stoddard is out there to do his little investigation work.
And Charlie Adams is up, getting some work in. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. You can follow them at USL on Twitter. That's at USL on Twitter. Looks to be pretty calm talking to Marshall Stoddard, as a few of the guys get together and also have conversations.
Yeah, never a good sign, though, when a player just willingly sits down. A lot of times you have to tell him to sit down to be able to get some treatment. You hope he's okay, that he just needed, maybe he just took a knock or something like that, but it seems like something has kind of jarred him enough to make him call on Marshall Stoddard and get Charlie Adams off the bench. You can kind of see the way he throws his hands up, and it's not really a sign of defeat, but at the same time, it's not a great sign.
No indication yet of the substitution coming. Sometimes you'll see the classic hand motion, but that might indicate it there.
Yeah, the doctor's on the sideline. Master Cacher, hands over his face, never a good sign. Sebastian Velasquez is going to be gutted that he has to come out of the game at this point. Already has an assist on the night. It was already proved very dangerous. Charlie Adams, a very capable substitute, but does not give, nobody gives the Real Monarchs what Sebastian Velasquez gives them going forward.
A goal kick for the Monarchs. Monarchs will be a man down here momentarily as they get Charlie Adams ready to get into this game. But a big loss for the Monarchs. Tulsa, do they smell blood in the water? Looking to go forward. An opportunity here for Tulsa. Cut out by Plua. But not a bad-looking attack there from Tulsa.
In semi-inspired soccer, it hasn't really been, it's kind of been more of a one-man show, somebody just kind of taking it upon themselves. This is the chances that you need to take advantage of while Charlie Adams is getting his shirt on. Can you take advantage of the 11 versus 10? Obviously, the Real Monarchs are going to try and get him in as fast as possible. It looks like they might be able to do the next one, but this is an opportunity for the Tulsa Roughnecks to get something and man up. And
Brad Jensen, the fourth official.
That opportunity is gone.
He's going to put up his board, and the Monarchs will get in this substitution here in the 25th minute of play. Sebastian Velasquez's night will be done after providing an assist, and Charlie Adams will enter the game. USL Team of the Week this week.
And deservingly so. He was a little bit confused as why he was letting out the starting lineup, but that is not his call. You got a bunch of good midfielders, and they do rotations. With Sebastian Velasquez coming in, he's always going to start. Someone has to sit. Charlie Adams was that guy. Sebastian Velasquez going down. You don't lose much with the red-hot Charlie Adams the way he's been playing lately.
Nice settle there from Hurd. Hurd to Moberg. The Husky connection there. Blake looking for Hoffman. Cut off by Tulsa. Hurd will keep it in. Adams will get his first touch of the night. A challenge from behind from Corvarubius.
Sometimes those are the good things. Get a little bit of physicality right when you get in, let you know that you're into a game.
Cashier gets around his defender, tries to get it back to Brody, takes a deflection. It'll be the 5th corner of the match for the Monarchs.
Master Cashier, you would think he might be a little bit rusty, not playing for the last few games, or at least in a starting role, that is, and he comes in here and he's done very well on this left side. He's seen a lot more of the action than Josh Hurd has on the other side, and he's really exploited the defense, and Morton's had his hands full trying to deal with him.
Justin Portillo will step out to take the corner kick from the near side.
The last one went back post on a design play to James Moberg. Serta had to put up a good play. See where they go this time.
Right in near post, takes a deflection. Excuse me, touches Ryden and goes across the touchline. That'll be a goal kick for Tulsa.
And Ryden hasn't scored in a long time, but he was the leading goal scorer through the first 10 or 12 games of this season for the Real Monarchs. Hasn't touched the net since then, but is very capable when he gets forward and in the box. That was obviously from the left back position. Ever since he switched to that center back role, it's a different type of position and role that you have to play. So getting forward hasn't been his game, but he's been doing a great job at center back.
4 goals in 24 appearances for Kalen Ryden. 16 shots for Ryden as well from that outside back position. Ball up over top. Hoffman.
Come on, this way.
There'll be a foul called on Hurd. Hurd's going to get a slight talking to. Vukovic still down.
Yeah, Josh Hurd not one to shy away from tackles. You've seen it week in, week out. When he plays with a lot of energy, a lot of speed. And when you're that fast and you have that kind of volatile spirit, sometimes you just are a little over-eager in some of these plays. It's unnecessary to kind of get in. It's a little groundwork after that. Got to be careful as the legs are swinging. Obviously, none of that was intentional, but that can kind of get lost in translation when someone's on the ground with the ball between their legs.
28th minute of play. 1-0 Monarchs on a Chandler Hoffman goal in the 13th minute of play. Ryden does a good job to step there, and Brody will clean it up. Hoffman was off, so he'll pull back. We'll go all the way back to the keeper. Monarchs have won 5 games here at Zions Bank Stadium by a single goal, but have also won 5 games here by 2 or more goals.
Yeah, you never really know which team you're going to get out of here. They had a 4-1 thumping of the Phoenix Rising, and then they only had a 2-1 win against, who was it after that? I can't remember, but it was another top-of-the-table team. and then they go to OKC Energy, who has to Reno, and then they go to OKC Energy against a team that they should beat, and they give up 3 goals. So now it's very important to keep that 0 to start playing playoff soccer. You cannot give up goals at home. Those goals at home will hurt you. Away goals count. So now they don't, but now is the time where you need to try and solidify these games and really end them before they begin.
Plua there to cut it off. He'll concede the corner kick. Nice cross looking back post for an opportunity for Tulsa.
And the management's made some great additions in Jack Blake, Stanley, who we haven't seen. You got Jamal J. Charles still waiting on his visa to get cleared. So we'll see what happens when these new additions come into the team and how they work into the starting lineups and to the bench.
Corner kick inside the box. Lone open header up over the crossbar. My goodness, that was a beautiful opportunity for Tulsa there.
Chance
and
after
Josh
chance.
Morton.
Chance after chance after chance. The Real Monarchs have only up 1-0. Perfect ball sent in here by Ferreira to James Morton, who almost walks into the goal and somehow heads it over. That's where you have to just rise up a little bit. It has to be headed down. That's why it's sometimes unfortunate when defenders in that position, they're so used to heading it up and out that when it comes time to score a goal, it's very hard for them to get it down.
Monarchs attack is building. Out wide to Cashier here on the left side. Clips it in, looking for Hoffman. It'll be cut off. And the Monarchs will recycle. Some promising attack, numbers building, but the Monarchs unable to get a quality opportunity off that chance. 31st minute of play. This ball there from Jack Blake. Brody tries to get around Morton. Morton giving him a slight shove there. Morton with the throw-in. Looks forward to Diaz. Or excuse me, Perez. It'll be a foul on the Monarchs. By the Monarchs.
It's where the Monarchs players have to be a little bit smarter. They know that John Perez has absolutely no help at this situation, and you're double teaming. Just need to stand him up in that situation. He's going to turn the ball over, and it will turn into a counterattack. Obviously, they're just a little bit too eager right now. As they settle into this game, got to calm down and make smart decisions defensively.
Diaz in the midfield trying to pull the strings for Tulsa. Tries to take down Cashier. Cashier gets around him. Inside to Blake. Blake, nice turn there. Back to Adams. Adams on top of the 18. Back to Blake. Blake has an eye for goal. Shot up and over the crossbar. Just couldn't get his body around that ball to keep it on target.
After last week's amazing volley, you want to see every shot have a little bit of bounce to it, and you have that you have that ability to be able to do that here on turf, but he does it. He gets a nice little shot at goal. His eyes get big. He just lifts his head a little bit too much, gets underneath it, sends it against the Zion Bank Stadium side. Everybody obviously knows now that he can shoot from distance. Tulsa Roughnecks are going to have to key in on him and make sure they don't give him any more chances like that, because you can't expect the same result. Yeah, I would expect something more on goal and just as hard from Jack Blake next time.
Adams out wide to Cashier. Ball checks up on him. He'll slow it up and play it back to Brody. Back wide to Cashier. Cashier tries to get fancy there for a second. One of the things I was going to mention is that midfield trio for the Monarchs tonight, all capable of hitting it from distance. Adams, Portillo, and Blake.
And all of them hot. Jack Blake and Charlie Adams scoring the goals last week. Justin Portillo hasn't scored in a long while. He's not known for that. He's at 6. He's the one that sprays the ball around, much like Ozzie Alonso used to do for Seattle Sounders.
Heard.
And still does to this day. But that small stature, you know, he's such a little pit bull back there. But like you said, it's one of the most undersized, monstrous midfielders that is in the USL today.
Ryden frustrated by some of the activity after the play. As John Perez catches him from behind. And Ryden's going to get a warning for the two-hand shove.
Just two big dogs being playful. You kind of let them do their thing. Obviously, that's something that Caden Ryland's not going to take too nicely to. There's really nothing there. It's good of the referee just to tell him that, hey, I'm not going to really understand. No, I'm not going to take that. But it just seemed like John Perez really couldn't stop. He's a big guy. Couldn't really stop his forward momentum there.
You'd almost expect that from those two players. In a game like this, it's going to get a little chippy, especially if the score line changes in the Monarchs' favor.
Well, that was a very tame response from Kalen Ryden, but it was also a very tame hit from John Perez. If he hits him a little bit harder, you can expect maybe even harder retaliation. But you don't want to see that. You got to have Kalen Ryden have a little bit more head about you. Know that you can't get away with that. That would be a stupid yellow to pick up in the first half and have to carry the entire game.
Plua to Ryden. Ryden's going to see green turf in front of him. He'll move forward to Brody on the touchline.
Too much respect given here to the Real Monarchs. Obviously, they deserve this due credit here, but the teams that have done well have been the teams that have gone after the Real Monarchs here at home.
Hurd towards the touchline, looking for Hoffman. Hoffman, a goal! Chandler Hoffman with the brace.
And I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but it might be his first brace all year. I think he might have had one early on, but a great job here by Josh Hurd. His first one all year. We're just getting clarification on that. And really just inexcusable defending. Fabian Cerda has got his hands up in the air and really doesn't know what to do at this point. I can't really blame him. Josh Hurd, with his speed, gets to the byline, puts in a perfect cross. The left back, or the right back, Morton, who just missed a header at the other end, is doing absolutely nothing. He needs to come in and help out his center back, because his center back cannot see over his shoulder, and it's the easiest of tap-ins for Chandler. Probably one of the easiest two-goal braces that you'll see in a first half in USL all year.
I have to give him a little bit of credit for the redirection, but that one was pretty stinking easy for Chandler Hoffman as he finds his 9th goal of the 2018 season here in the 36th minute of play.
Oh, please don't get me wrong. I give Chandler Hoffman full credit. It's his positioning that makes the finishes so easy. It's his knowledge of where to be in the box and the relationship that he has with his players, of where they like to put the ball in certain situations. And in both situations on both goals, he's been right where he needed to be to score the easiest of the 2 goals. And that all comes down to positioning. That's hard work on the field. That's doing something. 9 times out of 10, he doesn't get that cross, but he's in that position.
Hurd with his third assist, this season for the Monarchs. It'll be a foul and a quick restart for the Monarchs.
And that can really just make or break a season for a forward. Most likely to make it when you get a brace. Like you said, this could be a stat pattern type of game for Chandler Hoffman. He's already got 2 goals. Look for him to get definitely more chances as this game goes on for his hat-trick.
Blake to Brody. Hoffman was sitting just above the above the PK spot, salivating there for another opportunity.
And you couldn't find this kind of rhythm at a jazz club. This is amazing. These guys are coming in here just giving the Tulsa Roughnecks the blues that they won't forget.
Looking forward, Ryden and Perez battling. Perez will win the free kick. Adams applying pressure. Plua. And the Monarchs are going to counter. Hurd out wide, looking for Hoffman just out in front of him. Hoffman looking for that hat trick.
Hit that ball just a tad too firm. Hoffman's got to keep his run on side.
Cashier still with it. Forward to Blake. Blake on top of the 18. Shot! Pushed away!
What I say, just like what I said. Master Cashier does a great job keeping this ball in. Goes at his defender 1v1. Great pass out here to Jack Blake as he takes a great touch across his defender. And like we said, the next shot, look for it to be a skill check. And he puts it in the top corner. And Fabian Cerda does a great job to stop a SportsCenter highlight for 2 consecutive weeks for Jack Blake.
He would have cleaned out the cobwebs in that upper V.
What a pickup from the Tampa Bay Rowdies Jack Blake has been for the Real Monarchs.
Portillo into Plua. Monarchs are going to try to keep it in. Cashier tries for the little Meg there. They'll take a deflection. Off Cashier. Morton did a good job to turn that one. Cashier's holding a little lower, below the belt. Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully it's not a groin injury. Watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across the league at the league's official Facebook page. That's facebook.com/USL Soccer. Perez, back to Morton. All the way back to the keeper. Monarchs with a 2-goal lead here in the 39th minute of play. Hoffman with his 8th and 9th of the season tonight so far. Trying to find that hat trick. Morton will keep it in. Brody does a nice job to slide on that challenge, and it'll be a corner kick, though.
I don't know who on the Tulsa Roughnecks could change my mind about who I think the man of the match of them for already is, and that's Fabian Serta. He is not only keeping them somewhat in this game, but he's also been their best disperser of the ball, setting Morton through twice on this right flank, earning 2 corner kicks.
Free kick. Ryden rises high. Tulsa will try to keep it back in. Across the goal line for a goal kick. Not much action back there for the keeper tonight for the Monarchs. We're in the bright lime-ish yellow.
He looks like a Jolly Rancher out there, doesn't he, with his lime green cleats and his bright orange gloves.
Monarchs looking for their first ever hat trick in franchise history.
That's kind of amazing, especially the last 2 years and their dominance. It really kind of shows that they are just a full team. You know, they really get it together. They spread out the scoring. They have people coming in all the time. They have some stalwarts, but the people that come off the bench could start on any team in this league and some teams in MLS. And they just good teammates, do a really good job on and off the field of communication, and you can really tell in games like this.
Well, one of the amazing things is, Chad, 13 different goal scorers for the Monarchs this season, and that's just kind of how it's been for the Monarchs in the past 2 seasons, spreading the wealth and really not one main goal scorer, even though Chandler really has been consistent.
Well, Chandler being that point man up top, he's not the biggest guy. He doesn't score a ton of goals on his header. He doesn't rise up to beat defenders, as we've been saying about this game. His 2 goals, it's all about his positioning. He's very smart. He's undersized. He knows that, but he just kills you with his intelligence.
See the body language from Ferreira. Challenge there from Perez. He's going to be given his final warning here, I'm sure.
Perez being typical forward, a little bit lazy defending here, frustrated, you're down 2-0. Every single time you get the ball, you have people just hounding you. It's definitely not a fun game for him to be in. He needs help up there top. He's not that guy that gets in the box. It needs to be 1-2 touches, get the ball wide, much like Taylor Twellman used to do and used to be great at. He's a big boy and needs to find himself to get in the box and to get crosses in for him.
Cashier will settle it with his chest. Looking out wide. Brody picks up his head to Adams. Adams to Blake. Shot just wide. A good look there, and combination after combination for the Monarchs.
This play is really inspired. It's not just one man. It's they're smelling that blood in the water. You could call this whole thing Shark Week. There's more chum in this water than there was in any of those shows that I saw. It's unbelievable. As they're passing this ball around, ball comes in. Great one-touch out from Charlie Adams. Andrew Brody cuts the ball back, finds Charlie Adams, and he still is able to find Jack Blake. Jack Blake's now had 3 good looks, 2 from outside the box. He seems to be inching closer and closer. That one was just wide of Fabio Serta's post. More chances to come, guaranteed.
One of the best things that's happening for the Monarchs here in these last couple games is you're seeing this midfield really emerge. Multiple guys, not just one. Sebastian Velasquez goes out of games. This is going to be his 3rd match, essentially. He didn't play a full game tonight, missed the previous 2. But the rest of the midfield for the Monarchs has really stepped up. Jack Blake, Charlie Adams, been consistent as ever for the Monarchs.
As we just said, you know, any of these guys could start on any USL team in this league and do well. The fact that they're all on this team, it kind of isn't great for them because you have 4 people fighting for 3 spots and they can only play these 3 spots. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of like Bill Belichick does with the New England Patriots, as he just kind of shuffles in his running back. You never know which one's going to have their day, but it seems like they're all having their day right now.
I'm sure Thomas and Olave is not hating that and having multiple options. Excuse me. As we'll see a yellow card to Covarrubias here in the 44th minute of play.
Oh, it's like having too much money. You can complain about it you want, but nobody's going to feel sorry for you.
So we'll get a replay look at this one. Hurd. Yep, he knew exactly what he was doing, sticking in his foot. Didn't have a chance at the ball. Yellow card deservedly shown.
And then he's just lazy, and then he throws up his hands, and he asks questions. Take your yellow card. You know exactly what you were doing. It's that type of play that just, especially in the 44th minute, why take a yellow? It just doesn't make sense. As the head coach, can't be happy to see that.
Jack Blake will stand over the free kick for the Monarchs. 2 in the wall for Cerda. Line on the 18. Blake and Portillo.
I was just about to say, if Tulsa doesn't drop anybody in that spot, it's going to be bad.
Ball driven, looking inside the 18, cleared away. Next match for the Monarchs here, August 25th. It's Pups at the Pitch Night. Chance for you to bring your dog to the game. If you haven't got tickets, jump on to railmonarchs.com and get your tickets today for you and your pup.
Make sure that you please walk your dogs before you bring them and let them use the lavatory before they get to the field, because this is not a park for them to play in.
2 minutes of stoppage time announced here to close out the first half. Cashier, nice solid touch there.
Really tough challenge there put in by Claudio Munoz, and John Perez not getting the worst of it from the Real Monarchs defenders, but from his own center back coming in, looking like he was about to take a cheap shot on Chandler Hoffman. Chandler Hoffman, positionally, like we just said, he's a genius, gets himself out of the way, and just watches the Roughnecks just rough each other up.
Driven ball looking wide to Morton. Brody's going to have to track back. Morton, ball inside the 18. Plua there with the sliding challenge to put it up over for another corner kick for Tulsa with their 4th of the match.
And definitely not a weak spot on this left back by Andrew Brody, but he's been caught trying to step up into the midfield a few times, and Morton has been getting away on the outside. I don't know if that's Master Cashier's guy or if Brody, they need to have better communication. He's gotten free 3 times on the outside, almost serves in a great ball, puts out for a corner kick, but that was close to being a great chance.
Ball driven in, headed still inside the 18, Portillo. Calls for a handball. Blake, not something you like to see. He took it on the top of his foot.
Tough challenge there, putting in Covarrubias again, and the referee's going to talk to the linesman here about a possible another yellow card. Maybe, no. He seems to be okay with the challenge, but another tough challenge put in by Covarrubias just seconds after his challenge he put in. That's something that you can kind of shy away from if you have a yellow card with halftime just looming. That's not smart soccer. He is one more hard tackle away from being permanently in the referee's book and permanently out of this game.
Tulsa with 51 yellow cards on the season, 4th in the league, and 6 red cards, 1st in the league. So something they need to avoid tonight to make sure this one doesn't get too far out of hand. As that will end the first half here. Monarchs with a 2-0 lead, headed to the halftime break.
And there's never been any doubt. There's only been one real chance from the Tulsa Roughnecks, and that was from Morton on a corner kick from Isaac Diaz. Right put on his head. He almost walked it in, as we said before. Somehow puts it over the bar. 2 easy goals for Chandler Hoffman based on his positioning and the great build-up play from the Real Monarchs that put him in that position. 2-0, and they're coasting.
And, one of the big things for me for this second half, where the Monarchs did well in this first half, is the combination play of the midfield, something they need to continue if they want to put this one to bed.
Well, you always work on pattern play to goal. You always work on offensive strategy, and this is a great game. In playing the Tulsa Roughnecks, who don't seem to be in this game at all, is how do we combine? How do we beat teams in different areas? How do we work on things to improve us going into the future, going and playing against those better teams later on in the season?
Exciting first half for the Monarchs, 2-0 lead here at the half. We'll be back here shortly with an interview with Real Salt Lake General Manager Craig Weibel.
Cochran tonight appearing in his 71st career match with San Antonio FC. He's been with the club all 3 seasons, most consistent there on the back end.
I felt like my whole life I've always had to prove people wrong. Getting cut from the state ODP team when you're 13 because you're too small, and then in your club team you sit on the bench until you're 16 or 17 years old because you're too small. Everything kept referring back to you're too small. There's no better feeling in the world of being able to look at someone that told you no and to be able to say, I told you so. You kind of see it all when you go through times of playing, getting cut, being someone on the field, playing all the time. It kind of gives you a good grasp of where different players are and what their mentality might be. It's definitely shaped who I am. I wouldn't change anything for my career or for how it's gone. Not only have I grown as a player, I think I've grown as a man in terms of being able to deal with anything that I really think that's thrown at me. I think there's a bunch of different ways that you can be a leader. Bring my lunch pail to work every single day, and I try to get better every day. And if I have that kind of mentality and other people see me pushing, regardless of what we're doing, that's the kind of leader I want to be. This is my 3rd year here, and to be able to stay in one place and to really grow with it has been a tremendous honor, and it's something that I don't take for granted at all. Every time that I step on the field, I hope that I represent this club and this city. It's a privilege to play for such a passionate fan base. I'm Greg Cochran, defender for San Antonio FC.
Johnson! You've got to be kidding me! Oh, what a finish! Growling Spruce! Dante the other way! Oh, what a goal! Near post! Oh, what a finish by Charlie Ward! And what a world-class goal that is from Didier Drogba! Great save for Skrzypowski! Diving stop! Must-see TV.
Vegas struggling to hang on a possession. The ball is lofted over the top for Dakers. Cutting onto his right, will strike, and it's in! What an incredible strike from Kadeem Dakers! Cutting it off that left and doubling St. Louis's lead.
Ball into the box, Becky unable to clear. Quick shot, and that is through, and we're tied. How about that kick to even the score at 2-2?
Ryden and Brown. Brown's gonna take a shot from distance and a goal! What a goal from Brown!
On Sunday, Ranjitsingh had to save a late penalty kick to keep him in it. That cross looking for Lancaster falls to Illich with the bicycle kick finish to get Louisville back in the game.
It's a team that's able to be organized in the chaos, but at the same time, they're giving up.
Opiao! A stunning goal in the 68th minute. He took his time.
Howard, that's a great shot, and an even better save from Matt Pickens. It was on a rope.
With the swing on the follow-up, here's Tater, here's Bachin, a block and a big save by Tyler Derrick.
Flag stays down, Wolf falls into the air for 4! And the save is produced by Fedinho, but it's opportunity set for Culbertson, and Fedinho recovers!
Delp another look. Cole finds Flemings! Excellent save, Kuzminski. How about the touch? That's got to be a nominee for Save of the Week. Here's Ferris on the other end. Dykstra with a big save. Jason Johnson! You've got to be kidding me! Oh, what a finish Prowling Spruce. Dante the other way. Oh, what a goal. Near post. Oh, what a finish by Charlie Ward. And what a world-class goal that is from Didier Drogba. Great save for Stratton. Diving stop. Must see TV.
Back here at the half, Monarchs lead 2-0 on a brace from Chandler Hoffman. We're joined alongside the famous, legendary, I could use a million different words, Real Salt Lake General Manager Craig Weibel. Craig, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate using those words.
There's
a lot of other words that get used.
We'll avoid those words tonight, especially as you're watching some of the RSL game play out. Craig, one of the things that we like to talk about, and I think it's important to talk about, is this pyramid that really is here at Zions Bank Real Academy. And it's one of the things that doesn't get mentioned, I don't think, enough. The opportunity for guys to come all the way up from the youth ranks through the Monarchs all the way up to the first team.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And for other guys to come in here and kind of, even if they're not part of our youth development, you know, tonight you had, I think it was Beasler and Putna start for the first team, having come through this system. So, you know, we've seen the growth with our own guys. We've got a lot of our own homegrown, obviously, with the first team, but it's nice to see, you know, and it keeps everything integrated. It keeps it close. The staff knows everyone. The players know everyone, so it's comfortable.
And you know, speaking of those guys that have made that transition, that's kind of the goal. I know that doesn't get mentioned enough, and sometimes we think of it as completely separate things, but that's an opportunity for guys to really get minutes here and hopefully progress.
Yeah, it's truthfully the only goal. I mean, you know, we're very clear with the guys that play for the Monarchs. The job is to make the first team, and if you're not going to make it to the first team for whatever decision, be it a technical decision or a coaching decision, whatever it is, then that conversation has to happen too, because we need to be honest with our guys as well. So some of the guys are here because they're playing experience. Some of the guys are here because of the potential we think they have to get on the first team. But every player understands that the goal is to be on the first team.
Well, without your ability, obviously every player here we believe has ability, whether you're on the academy, the Monarchs, or the first team. But as a goalkeeper, especially the situation that's befallen you guys this year, Jacob Leaker.
Hold on, we just scored. It's 1-1 in the RSL
1-1,
game.
there we go.
Sorry, guys, sorry.
There we go.
I'm watching it down here, too.
He's somewhat professional here, but
I am.
It's, you know, speaking of which, it's...
Somewhat, that's his job.
I know, that is his job.
This is all my job, but that is great. We're 2-0 here. That's a huge point if we can hold on to that one. So, but yeah, to address what you're saying, you know, with Andrew Putna starting in goal, you know, you look at the guys that got injured for Putna to get on the field, and it's a bevy of really good goalkeeping, and Putna's done a good job at LAFC. He's also done a great job tonight in Houston. So hopefully this one can end up in where we want it. And then obviously Adam Grimwis is starting tonight for the Monarchs, who I coached at Michigan. So, you know, goalkeeping we're deep.
But he doesn't play a single minute with the Monarchs this year. Comes off a 3 months injury, and then Alex goes down. You have to fill his position. Connor Sparrow goes down. He's next man up. Jacob Leaker's on the bench now. You guys have to sign Adam Grinwell. Keeper's been a very exciting position for you this year.
Oh man, and you know, anyone that knows me knows this is one of the worst topics for me to discuss, because I don't know anything about goalkeeping. I know if a guy stops a ball. I know of his angles. I know if he screws up. That's the limit of my knowledge with goalkeeping. I make no bones about it. So, you know, to have this many conversations in 1 year about that position is just mind-numbing to me, because I more or less hand it over to our goalkeeping coaches and say, tell me what's happening. Tell me the truth. And that's how it goes.
Normally it's about trying to find goal scorers, not goal stoppers. But, but one of the things that we've talked about here is it's been a constant pipeline. The Monarchs have had phenomenal goalkeeping throughout the season. 10 assists this season, or excuse me, 10 clean sheets this season for the Monarchs, and they've done well in the past 2 years.
Yeah, and look, we believe in this. The organization's integrated top to bottom. We believe in academy kids signing with the first team. We believe in Monarchs signing with the first team. That's our model. It's different than a lot of teams in our league. It's not as sexy as some of the teams in our league. What it is it's something that requires buy-in, but it's also better for the fan. The involvement that a fan can have and watch a player come up from the age of like 14, 15 is incredible.
I mean, you really feel like somebody that, like those players, the Albert Rustenks, the Joao Platas, that they want to be, that they have to be here. Like you said, there's not a whole lot that draws them when you have cities like Toronto, you have cities like Chicago. LA, where Zlatan loves to go to, Josie loves to go to. It makes your job that much harder, especially get those high-profile players in here. You have to really kind of go out there, and your scouting has to be A+ for you guys to come in and be able to compete year in, year out.
We haven't quite met that world-class striker that's demanding to go to Salt Lake City, Utah. They kind of know New York, they kind of know LA, but we're working on it, you know, and we're still losing sleep over it every night. So, you know, when we get it right, it's going to be special, but we'll keep working, man.
Yeah. One of the many tough challenges that the Real Salt Lake general manager, Craig Weibel, has, and we'll thank him for joining us, and we'll let him get back to his other job, watching a 1-1 draw late in stoppage time there in Houston. We'll get him off, and we'll check out a highlight package from this first half.
All right, as we said, Sebastian Velasquez getting the start here and really just causing a lot of trouble as soon as he was in here. He ends up getting assists right here, takes a great touch, shoots on goal. Chandler Hoffman putting himself in a great spot to redirect this one in. He does the same thing on the second goal. Sebastian Velasquez always good at putting the shot on target. Chandler Hoffman knows exactly where he needs to be. Fabian Serter has too many people in front of him and can't do anything about the redirection. Chandler Hoffman, first goal of his 2 for his brace tonight in the first half. Sebastian Velasquez then comes off. Charlie Adams comes on. And you see right here, unbelievable. That was a design play with Moberg going to the back post. Fabian Serta, we've been calling his name all night because he's had been standing on top of his head. Even the 2 goals he scored, really couldn't do anything about those. Then you had this ball out here to Masakashir. Masakashir doing a great job. Step over with his right, steps to his right, catches out the end of his toe. Fabian Serta just tall enough to turn that one wide. And then a rare attack from the Tulsa Roughnecks. Does a great job here. Almost takes a slight redirection. Goes out for a corner kick. And on the ensuing corner kick, Morton almost walks this one in. Doesn't rise up to head it down. Sees it goes over the bar. That would have put it at 1-1 and kept this game close. Then Josh Hurd using his speed, getting down the byline. Chandler Hoffman peeling off his center back. Morton left out no man's land. Don't really know what he's doing. Fabian Serta is going to have some questions for him after this. But just easiest tap-ins right at the end. Again, any chance that Fabian Serta has had to be able to put his hand on something, he is saved. He has done his task tonight. But unfortunate for him, they're down 2-0 still. And Chandler Hoffman, the first brace of his year, have never had a hat trick ever by Real Salt Lake player. This man has broken records left and right.
Monarchs.
He has broken records left and right. And I guarantee, even though he's going to Birmingham this last year, it's one more record for him to set. Can he be the first Monarch to get a hat trick here at home?
And you know he's going to be chomping at the bit. That's one of those challenges that you have as a goal scorer. If you can get hot, can you stay hot?
Yes.
You know, and he's hot right now.
Almost as hot as a dancer on TV right now. Telling you, the moves that you see out here, you want these guys to go on to be great soccer players because their goal celebrations would be something spectacular.
We get the classic 2018 flossing.
Cannot wait for that dance to be done.
Check a couple scores from around the USL. Bunch of 0-0 draws, but a big victory for Cincinnati. 3-0 victory over the Battery. Kickers win 3-2 over Penn FC. And in the Western Conference, OKC Energy get their 3rd straight victory, 4-2 over Rio Grande Valley. At the half in Fresno, 1-0. Substitutions made as we'll get those brought up for you momentarily. Things are back underway here in the second half. Corver-Rubius' night is done. Corver-Rubius will be replaced by DJ Dean. Ball inside the 18, opportunity, shot pushed away. Up and over the crossbar, Tulsa comes out with a good opportunity.
And Adam Grinois, first test of the night, stands up, sends the ball over. Sends the ball over here. Bad turnover. The substitute, or not the substitute, I'm sorry. Jesus Ferreira gets that ball at the top of the box, was caught up a little bit upfield. Great little play there by him. Good shot on goal, good test for Adam Grinois, and he's passed.
Corner kick coming. opportunity headed away. But it'll be a flag up and a foul called inside the 18 and a free kick for the Monarchs. Back to the keeper. And Real Salt Lake takes the 2-1 victory over Houston with 2 late goals.
Doing exactly what to the Houston Dynamo, what the Real Monarchs did to the Tulsa Roughnecks in the second game of the year, scoring 2 goals very late on to win. That was a huge away win for RSL. I'm sure Craig Weibel is less stressed than he was during this interview, and we'll probably get some nicer names called about him tonight.
Got a kick out of that. Can only imagine that job of a general manager. As Perez's night will be done as DJ Dean came on for him.
The third goal, that's the important goal. If you let Tulsa back in this game and let them come back and get that 2-1, you know, that's the most dangerous score that you can face in soccer, and you're looking for that 3-0, and then that just goes ahead and puts them right to sleep. And then you can think about all the great things that you were doing at the end of the first half, the combination play, leading to goals, the chances. Like we said, Fabian Cerna, anything that he's been able to keep his hands on, he's been able to get to, and he's kept him in this game.
Ryden trying to get it to Hoffman. He'll apply pressure. Done a good job to keep with that one, to keep it in Tulsa's half.
Yeah, lose the ball, shows great desire to win it back, allows himself to get back to that center back spot, kind of embracing that center back spot a little bit more. You don't see him get forward like he used to on the left back side. You saw a little bit of it there. Maybe just a tad rusty.
Portillo, he'll settle. Go forward, takes on 3 defenders. Nothing going. He'll pull it back.
I'd love to see his passing percentage. I know that not a month ago he was at the very top. I think he was ranked number 2 in the league, and he's one of those unsung heroes that you don't see show up on the stats week in, week out. But if you watch the games, you see his importance to this team.
Adams shot, pushed wide.
Gobble, gobble, going for that turkey. He was almost had his 3rd in 3 games on his favored left foot, allowed time to 5 steps to really set up his shot, always going to the near post, and he just puts it, again, Fabian Cerda with a great save to keep his team within striking distance, a little bit of reach of actually getting back into this game. That 3rd goal will absolutely be in the nail in the coffin that Tulsa Roughnecks won't be able to recover from.
Charlie Adams with a nice look there, pushed wide, and another corner kick, first of the second half for the Monarchs. Portillo out wide to Blake. Blake settles, takes a crack. It was a little too deep for him, and he had to push back to kind of get there. Hoffman, he'll bring it down to Moberg. Moberg, go towards the touchline, puts it inside the 6. Plua kind of awkwardly brought that one down, and Tulsa's gonna go forward.
Good eyes here by DJ Dean to find Brandon Cervania. We haven't really called his name. He's been very quiet, but he's on the ball here at the top of the box.
Out wide. Tulsa trying to find something. Albert Rusnak with both the goals for the Monarchs, or excuse me, for Real Salt Lake to seal the 2-1 victory in Houston. Tulsa, DJ Dean inside the 18. He'll play it back, ball's behind his teammate. Hurd applying the pressure.
And the thing that makes that special about Albert Rusnak is that he actually came on as a sub for Pablo Ruiz, who took a little bit of a knee injury right before Houston scored their first goal. So coming off the bench of the sub and obviously making a huge impact in the RSL, grabbing a huge away win. As the ball turns over here, Charlie Adams going the other way.
Nothing out in front of him. He'll slow it up. Portillo going to be chopped down by Mo Adams. Mo Adams was the other substitution at the half for Tulsa. He came on for Corvarubius, who was carrying a yellow card.
Portillo, protector of the ball. You're not going to touch that. He is so good at keeping it. Very rarely loses it. As we said, the passing percentages and passes completed, he ranks him on the top of the league. Conrad Plua being a little bit lackadaisical with that ball, giving it away. Roughnecks going the other way. Good cover there by Kalen Ryden to get across the box. Conrad Plua almost falling over twice.
You can hear some of the instruction down from Matt Glazer.
Definitely the Tulsa Roughnecks, the better of the two teams here in the first 6 minutes out of the break. Looking to change something. The substitutes have added a little bit to this game. Servania is getting more into the box.
Diaz will serve in the corner kick. Looking near post. Hits the post and it'll be out for a goal kick. Monarch substitutions, 2 remaining. Up, warming up in the northeast end of the stadium. Down by the signage where it announces the elevation, 4,750 feet here at Zions Bank Stadium.
A good idea there by Moberg to try and put Joshua behind. There's the runs in behind have kind of stopped. Everybody's looking to play to feet. Obviously, at the end of the first half, they were playing a lot of nice little ticky-tack type football, but now it needs to come again. They need to try and find that again, or at least stretch the team in behind. Tulsa Roughnecks have moved their lineup because they have to attack. The space is going to be in behind. Josh Hurd has the pace. Masakashir has the pace. Chandler Hoffman, he's going to be that person as that ball goes wide. Being that person and gets to that near post, need to have Charlie Adams coming in for Sebastian Velasquez, coming at that top of the box to pick up anything he can't get in.
We're seeing Vukovic and DJ Dean kind of putting their boots on the line over here, getting them wet with paint, trying to stretch the field for Tulsa.
I think that's why they've had a little bit more success, is they were too narrow in the first half. Now they've tried to widen it out a little bit, spread the ball, let that ball do the work, less individual showings going on here in the second half, and it's really just paid dividends. Not in the way of a goal, but definitely in the way of better play.
Handball called. It'll be a free kick for Tulsa. 53rd minute of play. Monarchs lead 2-0. On goals in the 13th and 36th for Chandler Hoffman. Vukovic, ball forward. The keeper will collect. Brody, he'll cut in, gets around his defender. He's going forward. Hoffman, shot, and a goal! Oh my goodness, off the woodwork.
Does that count as a commentator's curse?
Oh my goodness.
Man.
Looked all but in from this angle up here is Chandler Hoffman almost with the brace for, with the hat trick for the Monarchs.
Man, he's had 2 good looks, and he finally beats Fabian Serta. I'm not sure if he gets a tip on this. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Great ball through an individual run here by Andrew Brody, and he takes an early shot, goes off the right post, and now Tulsa attacking.
Tulsa, shot and a goal! Tulsa pulls one back here in the 55th minute of play.
How the game changes on its head, on a dime, flip of the coin. Come down here at one end, hit the post. Tulsa Roughnecks come right back. And it looks to be, I'm not sure who's ended up getting that ball in. Is it Paris Guy?
So we're going to replay, look at that one here shortly. The dangerous game of soccer. Guy with the assist.
Guy with the assist, and it's Jesus Ferreira that ends up putting the easy touch in. There have been 3 easy goals in here. He gets to the byline, much like Josh Hurd did in the first half with Chandler Hoffman's goal, but is able to cut more at a 45-degree angle with an easy cutback to Jesus Ferreira, and all he has to do is simply pass it into the far post. 2-1 Tulsa Roughnecks. And that goal is definitely against the run of play, especially seeing as Chandler Hoffman just missed out on his hat trick by hitting the post not 30 seconds before that.
Guy with his 6th assist of the 2018 season. Ferreira with his first goal.
And this game just got a lot more interesting.
Mo Adams.
That's why that 3rd goal is just so important. It cannot be understated.
Monarchs lose the clean sheet. Still up 2-1 here. Early on in the second half. Tripped from behind. Adams. And Tulsa's getting chippy. Del Greco is going to see yellow here for the challenge from behind.
That's a tough one because he hasn't had too many fouls, but he steps up hard on Charlie Adams and just rakes the back of his heel. And up to the referee's discretion here. They had a little sighting at that ball. Not really a whole lot of malice in it. Just kind of just comes around, catches Charlie at a weird angle. Referee deemed it worthy of a yellow card.
And it might have been the conversation he had with the referee after the foul. We were looking at the back angle, but when you don't say the right things to the referee, sometimes that yellow's shown.
That's
ball up over top to Cashier.
Speaking of personal experience.
Cashier cuts it in. Looking for Hoffman. Still inside the 6. Cleared away. This game's getting exciting here in Salt Lake City, Utah.
But again, an inability. Now 5 straight games where the Real Monarchs haven't been able to shut out the other team. They've allowed goals. They're always able to score goals, and that's why they keep putting on these wins. But that's also why they've been taking big losses on the road, giving 4 up to San Antonio, giving up 3 to OKC, giving up 1 to every single team that comes here. To make it in the playoffs and to do well and to be able to call that trophy yours at the end of the year is going to require you to post shutouts in the playoffs, and it needs to start now with 10 or so games left in the season.
One of the places that we've seen tonight that's really been of trouble is the Monarchs have pushed up with Andrew Brody. As you can see, he's above the half line sitting in this one, and that's kind of how he's been sitting all night long, but it's caused problems for them defensively. Master Cashier, he'll cut in. He cuts back. Inside the 18, looking for Hoffman. Still not cleared away. Adams with a crack up over the bar.
Well, Adams gets absolutely every part of this ball. He just sails it high a little bit. That's one of those shots you wish you're 40 yards out. Master Cashier does a great job. Good flick by Andrew Brody to put him in. And great individual effort. Going to his right, then cutting back on his left. Sends a hard ball in that Fabian Serta gets his hand to. Gets cleared out just as far as Charlie Adams. Takes a touch to his left. Good touch here to clear himself a little bit of a shot. And he just gets it, sails it a little bit too high. He's definitely going to hate himself for that one. He's going to want that one back. Eyes got real big. He's had 2 great chances here in the second half. One was well saved by Serta, and that one just inches over the bar from 12 yards out.
The USL's official Instagram account has highlights, photography, and interactive content with the league's players. Get it all at www.instagram.com/USL Soccer.
Ooh. I don't hate it here from Isaac Diaz. Great ball played in as the ball turns over from Kalen Ryden by Morton into Diaz. He sees Adam Greenwist off his line and decides to try and chip him a little bit. Greenwist, if it was a good shot, might have had some trouble there. But, you know, obviously it just kind of sails into Zion Bank Stadium sign.
Plua. Forward to Moberg. Tulsa's applying a lot more pressure.
That's where every team has had success here. When you come at the Monarchs at home, they aren't used to it, and they haven't dealt with it since the World Cup break.
Hurd.
Who doesn't like a piggyback ride, right?
Got a nice piggyback ride for 5 or 6 yards there.
It's even better when you get the piggyback ride, and then you also get the foul called because of that. But it definitely looks like the weight of Josh Hurd.
Don't like to see that.
The weight of Josh Hurd actually might, as he comes down, he's really trying to keep himself and gets his, I'm not sure if he took an elbow or whatever, but he does not seem to be in a good situation here. We hope he's okay. Josh Hurd doing everything he can to try and avoid the challenge there. 2 tough players going at it.
Most of Tulsa's players are going to take the opportunity to grab some water.
And I can't see who that is on the ground. Is it Greco that's on the ground?
Try to get that information to you. 61st minute of play. Monarchs lead 2-1. Goals by Hoffman in the 13th and 36th. And Tulsa pulled one back in the 55th from Ferreira.
It was comical the way it all happened and how he went down, but definitely nothing funny about this. He is down, and he does not seem comfortable in getting up. Arms laid out to the side.
They've got a former Real Monarch up, getting instruction on the sideline, might be entering this match. Eti Tavares. Played with the Monarchs for 2 seasons.
And if he does get up and continue, I guarantee he's not going to be happy that he was called for the foul here, and it will be a Monarchs free kick at the restart. But it definitely does seem to be Nicholas Del Greco that's on his
getting something checked
on his
out.
back a little bit, maybe tweaked his neck.
Hey, Josh, move inside.
See the trainer
Face.
here looking
Parrish
at his
comes
face
down.
a little bit.
You move inside. Parrish jumps. Empty comes.
They're going to make a substitution. Eti Tavares getting on his jersey.
And it could be a good sign because the subs have done well since Mo Adams came into the game, since DJ Dean came to. They've made impacts that have changed this game. Now it's 2-1 Tulsa Roughnecks, and it's a very scary scoreline for the Real Monarchs, who got back into the game last week, then gave it up late. You have to get that goal again because the later you leave this, you always leave that shooter's chance for the Tulsa Roughnecks. And the way Fabian Serd has been playing tonight, you almost feel like it's actually good karma that he's created. You almost don't want to say that in terms of the Monarchs, but they really have to be better about their finishing. Chandler has to find a way to get that hat trick to beat Fabian Serta. It's going to be a tough one here down the stretch, but you're going to be in for a very good last 30 minutes.
Eti Tavares up with the fourth official, Brad Jensen. He'll be entering this match. So we can get Del Greco off the sideline. He looks like he's right below the eye. Tavares is one of those guys that's a playmaker. He's got wheels. He's got the moves. He's kind of a dancer, so he's one of those guys that you have to keep an eye on.
Greco's not happy about coming out. He doesn't know why he's coming out. The trainer was asking for a little bit more time, but I think that Michael Nassian just thought it was time to make an attacking substitution. He's tired of tying games. He's tired of losing games. He wants to give his team the best effort to go forward. You have Paraski, who can drop back into that defensive role and allow Eti Tavares to scoot up into that midfield.
You got the medical staff from the Monarchs as well with him. I'm imagining that was a decision that wasn't made on his part, as he'll be taken out of the match. It'll be a free kick, though, for the Monarchs. Charlie Adams will stand over it, 2 in the wall in front of him. Monarchs with their line inside the 18. Ball driven forward. Moberg thrown down, but it'll be caught by the keeper.
A good ball swung in there by Charlie Adams. The only one making a run was James Moberg, asking for a foul. Ball turns over here.
Gee trips on the ball. Cashier gets touched from behind. Touched being the operative word there.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you expect him to maybe leave a leg in so you can actually settle a little bit more, but Paraski wasn't buying anything there and just puts in a nice little strong tackle. Master Cashier just keeps his feet, no foul.
Blake. Tulsa pushing forward. Ball out wide to Dean. Dean defended by Moberg. Back to the top of the box. Adams. Monarchs putting in the defensive work right now. Tavares getting his first touches of the night. Tavares played through. Flags up, though.
Don't like it from the Real Monarchs right now. Getting in defensive positions, but being way too cautious in their defending. It was Isaac Diaz gets the ball on this near side, turns. 3 players are, one could approach him. Someone needs to address the ball. Someone needs to step out and not allow him to take more and more space and just eat up chunks of yards as it goes to your goal. That needs to be changed. There needs to be more aggressiveness from the Real Monarchs going for the rest of this game.
Plua. Forward to Blake. He'll play it back to the keeper. Out wide to Ryden. Monarchs normally don't look like the gas team, but tonight they look like a little back to that first half lackadaisicalness that they showed. Adams gets chased down from behind by Tavares.
Really well done there by Tavares. You have the new legs coming in here. You're eager, just got on. Come there and make a little defensive play. Adams with a great turn. He probably should have got the ball off his foot a little bit sooner than that. But like you said, it looks like they're a little bit tired. Maybe they put a little bit too much into that first half. It looked like Tulsa was running in water in the first half, and now it looks like they're running on top of water. So I really don't know where this team came from, but I'm going ahead and chalk it up to the substitutes made by Michael Nassian have made a huge impact on this game and changed the position of the field, the possession percentages, and the chances.
Get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch on USLsoccer.com. That's USLsoccer.com for Inside the Pitch.
And Tulsa Roughnecks being more aggressive now, but in a smart way and putting in a bunch of good challenges and really just not letting the Monarchs get anything going here in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Hurd. Monarchs with 2 substitutions remaining. One was a forced substitution as Sebastian Velasquez left early in the first half with an injury. Brody pushing forward. Brody looking. Back post for Hurd. It'll be cut out. And Tulsa's going to try to go forward. Adams, he'll push the counter.
Well, where the Real Monarchs are most dangerous and where they like to attack from is getting the ball wide to Michael Chang, Masakasha, or Josh Hurd. But the unfortunate thing is Michael Chang's unavailable tonight. Josh Hurd has been playing a ton of minutes as of late, and Masakasha hasn't played a whole lot of minutes as of late. So you have a real fitness kind of problem going here, and especially the way you like to attack. Things are going to have to come out of the midfield, especially as your wingers get more and more tired. Who can you bring in on the bench? You don't really have that many options besides maybe David Diosa, but he's an outside back. Reese Williams, he's an outside back. So where are you going to find these fresh legs to come on and allow you to be more dangerous in the last 20 minutes of this game?
Jose Hernandez and Juan Mare, the 2 attacking options that Hamas and Olave has on the bench.
Both up the middle, and Chandler's on 2 goals. How do you take him out when he's hot like that? The goal has to be huge for him. Just misses his hat trick. He's not that type of person to miss a whole lot of opportunities, chance after chance. If he gets another one, look for him to bury it.
Blake there, let the touch get away from him. Dean.
Dean's been a real impactful player since he's arrived in this game. Young, spirited, good left foot. Really put Moberg on his back foot and made him become more of a defender. Oh, Moberg almost tripping over himself right there. Turf monster, sniper in the stands.
Born in 1998 from Union High School.
I graduated 6 years later.
I was 8 years old at the time, so. Adams. Pulls up, and Plua's going to get carded here. It's like a little bit more of an addition there, but Dean goes down, and Plua will be shown yellow here in the 69th minute of play.
Well, Plua he's tripped over himself once. He's shown that he almost did it again in his own half, and right here he kind of puts in a hasty little challenge on DJ Dean as he overruns the ball right there. Takes the yellow card because he misses the ball, but he's got to be careful. They cannot go a man down to the way the Tulsa Roughnecks are playing. Going a man down, I mean, you can just expect one-way soccer after that, because that's what it's been looking like almost up until now.
Vukovic.
At least in this half.
1 in the wall for the Monarchs. Line just above the 18, driven inside. Moberg heads it away. Tavares still keeps it in. He's on top of the 18, takes a crack and a deflection. It'll be a corner kick for Tulsa.
What a fantastic ball from Vukovic from all the way out here. Sends in a 40-yard whip, curled ball into the box. Unfortunately for him, nobody was making a desired run into the box to get on the end of that. Easily cleared.
Short corner and a missed opportunity there from Tulsa.
Took a deflection on the way out, though, to be another corner kick. And they have the height to really hurt the Monarchs on tired legs here. Got a bunch of big boys in there. You have Claudio Munoz. Jesus Ferraro already has a goal. Morton almost had an easy goal in the first half that we saw in the highlights at halftime. So got to be very careful. This is a very dangerous way for the Tulsa Roughnecks to get back into this game.
Ball served in with the left foot. Near post.
And there it was. There it was. That was a great opportunity. That was an open header, and the fans aren't getting into it because obviously the away team, but if that was at home, you would absolutely know that was a big miss. All he has to do is just get a hairline touch on it. He just gets too much of his head jumping into it. You really just want to get that off the center of your head, let that flick off your forehead.
Trying to figure out how to get a ball back on the pitch. classic keeper. They're not letting that one go in the goal, even if it's not coming from live game action.
You should see him in practice.
71st minute of play, 2-1 Monarchs. Live here at Zions Bank Stadium, here on ESPN+.
You can hear Jamison Olave call for second ball even before that kick is taken. Chandler Hoffman is not that forward that's going to post up and win headers. And he's going to try and cause as much confusion and bump into the defender as hard as he can to try and get them to divert the ball into a favorable direction. But you hear him say that in the second ball, everybody has to be alert. That's what the Monarchs have been good at. But in the second half, that's been all Tulsa Roughnecks.
Brody going forward, chased down by Tavares. Tavares and Brody, former teammates here with the Monarchs. Ryden to Plua. Monarchs going to switch the field.
And nobody in the center of the park except for Justin Portillo. Everybody's out wide. Have to find that center. Have to get Jack Blake and Charlie Adams to come back and form that pyramid, that triangle in the midfield just to link up, switch the field. They're doing it in the back now. Tulsa's really stepping up their defense, but that's mainly because they're looking in behind too much. It's not the time we need to score a goal. It's the time to combine.
You have to be impressed here in the last little bit of Tulsa's defense, really applying that pressure a lot higher, pushing the Monarchs to continue to try to find that different point of attack. It's a big switch here for the Monarchs. Hurd will bring it down. Moberg's going to make the overlapping run on him.
But the altitude factor will come in, and it's impossible to ignore. And we talk about it all the time, but late on in games, especially with the guys that have been, not the substitutes, but the guys that have been playing 72 minutes so far, it's tough for them to find the air in their lungs to keep going. That goal is going to spur them on. They need to keep creating chances. Can't allow the Monarchs to change the field of position, kind of like they're doing. Really having a nice spell of possession that Jamison Olave had wished that they had the entire second half.
Elevation in Tulsa, 722 feet, compared to the 4,700.
It's only 3/4 of a mile higher than they're used to playing at.
A little bit higher. Portillo to Cashier. To Blake. Blake looking forward to Hoffman. Hoffman a little bit wider than he'd like to be. Ball into Adams. Adams trying to slip it through to Cashier.
Good run there from Cashier. Good idea from Charlie Adams. On the second touch, maybe get there. Great speed and agility from Tavares. And then plays a lackluster ball. Does all the hard work. Has Green in front of him. Not sure why he tried to play that ball so early. But look for him next time. I'm hoping that he picks his head up and realizes that he can dribble. He has the speed to beat almost anybody on this field.
Ball out wide from Blake. Blake trying to find Cashier.
Looking for him to get more in behind. Cashier likes the ball to his feet and likes to run at defenders. Not really that guy that likes to get balls in behind. But that's what's going to be open to him in the last 15 minutes of this game.
Monarchs with 10 games left in the 2018 season. Cashier, he'll take a shot from distance. Never really got around it.
Long steps and leaning back is always going to end up with the ball being over the bar. You got to take little steps as you get into it. Keep your head over the ball. Keep your chest over the ball as it comes in. Master Cashier practices this all the time in shooting drills. He's going to be a little bit disappointed he didn't put that on target.
10 games left for the Monarchs in the 2018 season. 33 points left, possible, including tonight. 5 away games, 6 home games, including tonight. 3 of those against current playoff teams. There'd be a foul called on Vukovic. Hurd will go down, and it'll be a free kick for the Monarchs just across the midfield stripe.
Hurd's been on his back more than he's probably had touches on the ball this half. He's been very physical, got a couple confrontations, won some, lost some, but he hasn't been able to really exploit this right side at all. Everything from the Monarchs has come up the left side. Need to find a way to get Josh Hurd and Moberg more involved.
Adams checks into the midfield. Out wide to Brody.
And with their possession, they've dropped Tulsa Roughnecks off all into their half. This is what you wanted to do the entire second half.
Hoffman almost found himself in a good situation. Hurd's going to be called for the hand that he had.
Yeah, nice feet there by Cervania to draw a foul from Hurd. Hurd probably is one of those guys that picks up the most fouls per game without actually getting a yellow card, but he doesn't really talk to the referee after, and that's kind of what you alluded to earlier when Greco's yellow card is sometimes you're not going to get a ticket, but if you say the wrong thing to the cop, you're going to get a ticket.
Sometimes it's all about the words you use. Brody. To Adams. Forward to Hoffman. Out wide to Cashier. Cashier is going to get around one defender, but can't get around the second.
Right there, when you see two guys in front of you, maybe it's not smart to be the first guy. You got to beat two guys every single time if you're going to do that. Find the guy back. Work the ball back around the box. They're doing good getting the ball into the box, but getting a little selfish in front of goal. They need to find a way to get that ball out wide, and Master Cashier's got to find a way to get balls into the box. They were dangerous when he was getting to the byline and serving and whipping balls in. Needs to find that again.
Adams, inside the midfield circle. He'll pick up his head. Nice touch there by Hoffman. Cashier, Blake's right with him. Hurd's wide. Hurd towards the touchline. Shot on goal. Looked like he didn't give his teammates an opportunity as he maybe mishit that one.
Yeah, I'm not really sure he had the opportunity to actually catch up to this one. If it's on grass, it probably waits a little bit better, but he just doesn't get his feet right, and it's going out a little bit too much, getting away from him, and he reaches for it at the last second. Almost puts it on goal and surprises Fabian Serta, but just pushes it wide. No trouble. It's still 2-1.
Serta would have been in that awkward situation where he was leaning out instead of in towards that near post.
Masakashir had a good chance just like that in the first half where he was definitely alert to it and made a good save at the near post.
Stay up to date with all the best from social media around the USL by watching Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday evening on the USL's social media channels. Ball forward. Inside the 18. Opportunity for Tulsa. Ryden, shot, wide.
The goal scorer, Jesus Ferreira, doing a great job to carve himself up an opportunity from almost nothing. As the cross comes in, he makes that near post run. Only one here in the box, still able to get onto it. Ryden sticks with him, dives in right there, does a good job to give himself a shot opportunity and pushes it wide of Adam Greenwald's post. Thankfully for the Monarchs, it stays 2-1, but that's a good chance carved out from almost nothing by Jesus Ferreira.
79th minute of play. Getting late in this one. Blake tried to keep it in. Be a throw-in just in front of the fourth official for Tulsa.
What's helped Tulsa out a little bit in this half more than the first half is they haven't really let the Monarchs play out of the back like they did so much in the first half, and it's made them kick it long. And you hear Thomas and Olave call for the second ball all the time because they don't win any first balls. That is all Tulsa Roughnecks.
Out wide, Tulsa. That one's high and long. So the Monarchs are going to make a substitution here momentarily.
Chandler Hoffman, if he comes in for him, it might be a little bit of a surprise for me because Chandler Hoffman in the last 5 minutes has actually done a very good job at getting the ball, taking 2 touches, getting it out wide, and keeping it. So I'm not sure if he asked for one or if, he thinks that Juan Mayer, like we just alluded to, all the second balls. Juan Mayer is really the only guy on this field that can win those first balls and challenge those center backs on headers.
Already getting final instruction. Assistant coach Matt Glazer. Ryden cuts that one off. Getting into the final 10 minutes here at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs nursing a 2-1 lead. Trying to see if they can continue the win streak here at home. 10-0-1 on the season at home. And not as great 5-6-1 away from Zions Bank Stadium. Free kick for Jack Blake. Looks like the substitution.
It's going to be for Chandler Hoffman. It's going to be for Chandler Hoffman here, and I really think that it's just what we alluded to and what Jamison Olave has been saying. They need to find a way to win these second balls and stop it from being slammed right back down their throat every time they get a goal kick.
Cashier. Adams out wide to Hurd. Hurd's going to go towards the goal line. He'll win a corner kick for the Monarchs.
If you're going to bring a guy in to provide you some aerial support, this seems like the time, and it looks like Juan Mayer, yep, will be coming in for Chandler Hoffman.
Chandler Hoffman's night will be through, but he'll walk away with a brace.
And as it stands, he has the game-winning goal. First brace of him on the season, so congratulations to him. Passes the captain's armband off to the Iron Man, Justin Portillo. And he'll get his due applause.
And rightfully so.
2 apparently easy goals, but not easy was his intelligence and knowing where he needs to be and the positioning of his body on both those goals and putting himself in those spots to be on the end of these crosses and shots from Sebastian Velasquez and Josh Hurd in the first half.
The tough thing for him is I know, and knowing Chandler personally, I know he'd love to finish this one off for the final 9 and change. But Mare will be tasked with trying to put this one to bed.
Well, I guarantee when he watches the game later tonight or tomorrow, he's going to blame you for that third goal for calling it too soon.
My goodness.
Little premature on that one.
It just came out. It was right there. It looked good from our angle here up in the booth.
Wishful thinking. But Tulsa Roughnecks respond 30 seconds later and have been the better team this half. The Monarchs have carved out some good chances, don't get me wrong. Fabian Cerna has had to make a lot less saves this half because the Tulsa Roughnecks have really come here. Whatever was said to Michael Nissian at halftime and the substitutes that he made have made a huge impact on how this team has played in the second half.
One of the things I mentioned at halftime was the Monarchs needed to control the midfield in the second half. And I don't think they've really been able to do so. A lot of the pressure has been a game changer. Opportunity for Tavares. Tavares, shot and a goal! Eti Tavares, in his return to Salt Lake City, Utah, finds the back of the net.
Oh, and history just repeats itself. It wasn't said before this, but Landon brought it to my attention that there are 2-2 and 3 against Tulsa Roughnecks all time, but all 3 home games that they've played have ended in ties. Up 2-0 early, have given up 2 second-half goals, and now it's 2-2 again with only about 10 minutes to play. Really well done. Huge mistake by Andrew Brody. Falls down. Eti Tavares, the fastest guy on the field, picks it up. Substitute comes in, makes himself known, and puts in a great goal off the post on his old teammates. And now it's 2-2, and we have a game.
84th minute goal for Eti Tavares.
Extremely impressed with this Tulsa Roughnecks team and what they've been able to accomplish here in the second half against the league leaders in the Real Monarchs, and extremely disappointed. He's on sides.
Mare, he's inside. He's taken down, and that's going to be a penalty kick.
Impact, impact, impact. First touch, he grabs the ball. He wants it all. He wants the responsibility. He comes in, makes a great run through. I think he gets slid in by Andrew Brody. And as he comes in here, takes a great touch around an on-rushing Fabio Cerda, who doesn't think he got him at all. Obviously, keepers never do. We'll see on the replay here if he catches the toe of Juan Mayer, who just gets the ball before him to the side. And yes, that is a PK. He absolutely gets him on the lower leg. Lucky to probably not come away with a red card, denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Juan Mayer wants it, but Justin Portillo with the captain's armband tells him to step aside. This is what the Iron Man wants. As we said, Jack Blake has scored, Charlie Adams has scored, Justin Portillo hasn't scored in a long time. Is this something that you would want your midfielder taking? Or do you want your forward taking?
You know, as a captain, you have responsibility, and I think that's one of the keys to this. Chandler Hoffman's on the field. Obviously, you expect him to take it. Sebastian Velasquez is on the field. You'd probably expect him to take it. Justin Portillo is your captain. So this is an opportunity for him to...
I wonder if this is coming from Olave or if this is just his decision. Either way, I don't mind it, but with not a lot of goals on the year, not a lot of experience in the back of the net, and Cerda's been standing on his head all game. Big moment.
From the spot, Justin Portillo. Shot and a goal! Justin Portillo!
Like he scores all the time. What a great PK. Sends Cerda the other way, steps up calmly, takes the ball for Juan Mayer, who did earned the PK, wanted to take it, got the captain's armband from Chandler Hoffman and said, hey, I'm going to be taking this one, and just puts it right in the top right corner. Even if Serta goes that way, he's not going to get that one. Great PK execution there by Justin Portillo.
As cool as you'd like from Justin Portillo, as you'll get a replay look at this one, and he slams it home with authority. Probably wasn't savable in the true reality, even if Serta had guessed the correct way.
Serta's a tall goalkeeper, and he's done everything he can tonight. But there is absolutely nothing you can do about a PK like that. 3-2. Unfortunate for the Tulsa Roughnecks, who just worked their socks off to get it. Tied back 2-2. Do they have enough in the tanks left with only about 8 or so minutes left in this game? Can they create chances? Can they put the Real Monarchs under pressure? Can the Real Monarchs find a possession game and a gamesmanship to kill off this game?
Gotta love the work rate so far by Juan Made. Does a good job to win the PK for the Monarchs.
But from James and Olave's perspective and the coaching staff, there's just too many goals in these games and not enough being scored by the Real Monarchs. 3-2 against OKC, 3-2 here, 4-1 against the Phoenix Rising, 4-2 loss against San Antonio. There's a lot of goals in their games, and it's from both teams. Need to find a way to shut these teams down. And I mean, it's exciting for the fans, exciting for us to call them, but at the same time, it has to be absolutely, if Olave had any hair, it would be out by now.
One of the things you're gonna need to see is that midfield locking it down. Charlie Adams tiptoeing on the touchline. It'll win a corner kick for the Monarchs.
Yeah, great little make there, put through Claudio Munoz's legs. Good cover there by the Tulsa Roughnecks to make sure that it just goes out for a corner kick.
88th minute of play. Monarchs will take the corner kick. Jack Blake will step out to take it.
Here's where the gamesmanship comes in, get 2 out there. This is maybe something where I'd like to see Juan Mayer get out there. He's a big guy, and you don't want your 2 center mids going out and doing a short corner kick if they're just going to keep it. If you lose it, they're caught out of position. So
Charlie Adams in the corner. Blake's right with him. It'll be a throw-in again for the Monarchs. Asta Cashier. His number will be put up on the board. And Williams is going to enter the match here in the 89th minute of play. Defensive substitution coming from James and Olave.
Reese Williams has made some late appearances in games, mostly to kill off games. He's that guy, last game he came into here at home, he didn't get a touch in. He was only in for about 30 seconds. Almost kind of what he's doing here, but Masakasha doesn't provide that same defensive prowess that Reese Williams does, that defensive first thinking. So Reese Williams is going to come in here, and he's just going to solidify this right side with Moberg and just make sure that they do everything they can, making sure that Tulsa Roughnecks don't get anything back. It's 4-on-3 here in the back. I would like to see Jack Blake or Justin Portillo scoot back a little bit. If that ball gets cleared out, it's really not a numbers up system or situation that you want.
Williams gets a nice couple first touches. We'll get it again, but the flag will be up here on the near side.
Come on, Bobby. Come on, Bobby.
We're moments away from seeing stoppage time announced here in the 90th minute of play.
And you can expect some time. There's been, Del Greco was down for a couple minutes. There's been substitution. There's been 2 more goals. I can expect to see maybe 4, even 5 minutes.
Morton will bring it forward for Tulsa. An exciting one here at Zions Bank Stadium. 3-2 Monarchs here in the 90th minute of play.
I don't think we'll see the 10 minutes that was in the, well, what a move here by Eti Tavares.
But a beautiful sliding challenge there from Brody. Brody will be called for the foul on the second one, and an opportunity free kick here for Tulsa.
This is dangerous because Tulsa is going to send all their players forward on the field except for their goalkeeper. And that's the biggest problem here is they don't have the height advantage.
6 minutes of stoppage time announced.
Absolutely. And just like Olave's been saying this entire game, they're second ball, second ball, second ball. Yes, they have some trees in the back, but they look tired. They look gassed. Tulsa have all the momentum right now.
1 man in the wall for the Monarchs. Line on top of the 18. Ball whipped in, looking back post. Nice pluck out of midair.
A little bit of a misread on the ball flight there, but Could have let that one just sail out. I think he was just making sure that he was absolutely certain that this wasn't going in the back of the net. Really athletic ability to not only bring that down and catch it, but also to keep it in and not actually give the ball back up.
Williams is going to be called for the foul.
Not sure how that's a foul when you're backing up. But, you know, hey, sometimes the referee doesn't always call what you see. Juan Mer, careful not to get a yellow card. Yep, there it is.
He knew exactly what he was doing there. It's one of those that in a moment like that, the ball's still moving. He's not going to let that one go right off. Step back a little bit, save yourself the yellow.
I know his heart is in a good place, but it's an intelligence thing at that point where it's just, you don't want to eat a yellow right there, because as those things add up, you have to miss games, and especially when you're only in the game for 10 minutes, try not to get those yellows unless you absolutely need to, defending a goal-scoring opportunity going the other way, because now he needs to get back.
Free kick for the keeper. It's going to go coast to coast, keeper to keeper. The second minute unofficially through stoppage time.
I'll tell you what, you definitely wouldn't see this team in the second half. First half, they definitely look like the bottom dwellers they are. But this second half against the Real Monarchs, they've really shown their heart and you know what they're truly all about under their new head coach, just not giving up.
Dean. Williams will cut him off and dump it up forward. Nice ball forward. Mare is going to lay chase.
Oh, what a play by Mare. Unfortunate not to keep it in, but just an unbelievable work rate here to just get to there. And that's what you need to do. You need to come on, like Eti Tavares did for Tulsa Roughnecks. Just come on and make an impact as much as you can. Earn the PK that Justin Portillo took to give him that lead, not 3 minutes after he came in.
Williams try to save it from going out for a corner. It'll be a corner kick.
Reese a little slow on this play there. Needs to be aware of the attacker shutting him down. Chest that out and really just give it, you know, put your boot through it. Plays a little bit too slow, gives up a corner kick. It's dangerous again.
Be a corner kick from Tulsa. Ball swung in with the left foot, looking back post. On top of the 18. Takes it right off the face. Player down. I think it's Ryden inside the box.
This play should be stopped. It's a head injury. I know it's the end of a game. Calls a free kick, but Kalen Ryden is down on the floor. As soon as that ball hits him in the face, if he doesn't think that's a handball, he needs to call that game. He needs to call that to stop. I know that it's not in the run of the play here. As this ball goes down, great touch here initially from Covarrubias, and just lashes the ball, and Kalen Ryden takes it all right square in the noggin. Ouch.
You hate to see those right.
No subs left. Del Greco went down in the first half. Now he's going to have to come out here because Marshall Stoddard came on the field. He's a big guy that's normally supposed to be in the wall, and you can see he's visibly upset for not calling it, because not calling that play has led to this free kick, this dangerous free kick that Tulsa have here at the end of the game. With only 2 minutes left, obviously there will be more added on, but
kind of one of those mind-boggling things that it wasn't called instantly, like you mentioned. If it's not a handball, it's a head injury, and that's scary. You know, that's one of the points of emphasis lately in professional soccer is the head, right? You don't want to have players having those type of injuries that we're starting to see in football, the CTE type conversations.
Well, obviously he goes straight down, and you can see that he just takes it square in the head, and if you don't think it's a handball and you actually think it hit him in the face, then you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. And the only people that are going to be upset with it, obviously, are the Tulsa Roughnecks, but as a team, when you get hit in the face, you want that play to stop, especially with all the concussion protocols that are put into place these days.
But this turns out to be an excellent opportunity for Tulsa.
Well, you saw Vukovic swing in a beautiful ball from 40 yards out. If he has that same kind of power, I think that he's just going to try and bend this around the wall and maybe hope for a gap in between or a deflection coming off. He looks like the only person that's going to hit this. I expect to be low, hard, and driven.
We're through 5+ minutes of stoppage time. Is Kalen Ryden still having a conversation with the officials on the sideline? trying to get back on the pitch.
Obviously, he needs to go through the protocol. He needs to check with the doctors. He needs to make sure with the referees that everything's okay for him to come back. But unfortunately, he won't have any kind of influence on this free kick.
A lot of pushing and shoving there on the wall. Justin Portillo.
And this is all in the gamesmanship. Cause him to wait a little bit longer. Cause him to do something. As the referees turn around, Vukovic has actually moved this ball a little bit to the right. I think I'm going to see him go hard to the right post. You're going to see a parting of the Red Seas with the guys on the right side of the wall here for the Tulsa Roughnecks, and you're going to see a bomb come here low and right.
Tulsa just outside the 18. Shot up over the bar. And a missed opportunity there from Tulsa as Kalen Ryden will step back on the pitch. And that might almost do this one out here at Zions Bank Stadium.
It might, but I'm not sure. I think that the referee might try and add more. He's trying to get Adam to hurry up a little bit. I don't understand why he's being so adamant. There really isn't that much time that Adam's adding on to this goal kick right here. So I expect a few more minutes and maybe another chance or two to be carved out. Real Monarchs got to be careful. Can't cause any more fouls because they'll be sending everybody and the keeper forward next time.
Will be brought down by Tulsa. Brody will cut it off. He'll play it forward to Adams.
Smart.
A foul by Adams on Adams.
Very smart there by Adams. Just, knowing that there's not that much time left. If he takes a foul, you can another 30 seconds. The ball goes out, it's another 30 seconds.
Trying to kill this game off, the Monarchs. Mare will be fouled.
And Mare has really done his job since he's coming here. He's done a great job just earning the PK as soon as he came in, but he's done a great job getting in behind the defense, chasing down every hopeful ball that's been put in behind, and doing a great job holding up the ball and connecting and allowing them to possess it a little more and kill off this game.
We've played almost 98 minutes here at Zions Bank Stadium tonight. 5 minutes were announced.
Two very long stoppage games for both RSL affiliated clubs tonight. So both of them had wins. Monarchs holding on to that 3-2 win right now. Justin Portillo with the game-winning goal. Chandler Hoffman with the brace. Eti Tavares and Jesus Ferreira providing the late dramatics to make it a game with 10 minutes left.
What a game from Tulsa. They really put their front foot forward and decided to make this one interesting, trying to steal points away from the league-leading Monarchs.
Not in the first half, but from the second half on, a lot of positives to take away from this team from this.
Adams to Mare, shot just over the bars. He tries to clinch this one.
Wow, how many shots have shaved that bar tonight? They haven't hit it, it's just shaved it. Fabian Cerner has played absolutely fantastic, but he hasn't had to make too many saves here in the second half because they've just been inches wide on a few occasions here in the second half. But not very many chances carved out by the Real Monarchs.
Williams here out wide. Blake's gonna have it in the center circle. But Elton Garcia is gonna indicate that 90+ minutes of soccer have been played, almost 100 minutes. And the Monarchs will walk away with the full 3 points and a 3-2 victory over Tulsa.
Your toes and your hamstrings are hurting if you're sitting in the bleachers because you were on the edge of your seat this entire second half, just hoping that the Monarchs would pull out this win, which they eventually do. But on a Justin Portillo penalty kick after Juan Mare, rightfully so, goes down the box from Serta, who had a great game, has to try and make a play on him, doesn't make it. Justin Portillo steps up, the Ironman slots it home, and more chances, just ready to go there for the Tulsa Roughnecks, but put in a really good showing, an impressive showing and fight and resilience in the second half, and I was thoroughly impressed.
Monarchs moved to 16-6-2 on the season with 50 points. Tulsa moves to 2-11-10 on the season with 16 points. The Monarchs really have done it again, continue to keep this home a fortress.
It is a fortress, 10 straight home wins. It's hard to do anything with that, but now it's all about the road games. You give up too many goals and you lose too many big games on the road, and then you're always giving up goals here at home. That has to be fixed. That's a problem. And when you win games, those are good things to go into video and then you can look at afterwards, because then you can really have that good feeling that, yes, we took 3 points, but we didn't play as well as we could. Things have to be shown up, and a lot of stuff has to be done in the video and in practice.
One of the tough things that the Monarchs face is they face the challenge of having a target on their back. This week we had an opportunity to interview Jack Blake, on our Center Circle podcast. And one of the things was that he talked about is they have a target on their back, whether it's the 17 ranked team in the Western Conference or it's the number 2 team. You have a target on your back because you're sitting in the number 1 seed.
But that's what you want. As a player, that's what I want. I want somebody that's always going to challenge me. That's always going to make me bring the best. You watch Zlatan Ibrahimovic's interview just a couple weeks ago on PTI, and he says he has to invent haters. He has to create haters because he doesn't really have as many as he used to anymore, and rightfully so. But the same game, it's always the same game, same 90 minutes, same dimensions. You have to bring that fire with you to the game. And in the beginning of the games, the Monarchs are finding it hard to bring that into their beginning of their games. Yes, they went up 2-0 this time, but at the start of the second half, just wasn't good enough.
As a famous boxer used to say, we all have a plan until we get punched in the face. And that one thing that the Monarchs need to learn is to continue with their plans. Sometimes they get knocked in the teeth and struggle to really get back to their ways.
Yeah.
And that's something that they're going to have to figure out. At home, they've been able to continue to get back into the rhythm. On the road, really not so much.
Really not so much, and that's something that has to be addressed, and it will be addressed. You have new players coming in. You have a constantly changing back line all the time, and you have to have players that step in without much playing time, playing experience. Expect them to go 90 in altitude. Even if not an away player, even when you're doing conditioning, you're not playing those 90 minutes. You're not 90 minutes fit. You're fit, but you're not 90 minutes fit, so it's tough.
But the Monarchs doing exactly what they need to do so far. Undefeated at home, but an upcoming schedule with a few tough games coming up. We'll check out that schedule now. Another game here at home versus the Galaxy 2 here next Saturday, 8 p.m. Then on the road, Colorado Switchbacks. And then back at home versus San Antonio. On the road, RGV. And then back at home versus St. Louis. So some challenges in front. San Antonio's in the playoff picture. Colorado's just outside the playoff picture. There's some tough teams in this mix coming up.
Well, and that you don't have any home stands. You don't have any long race stands. They have a really tough one coming up, Tulsa Roughnecks. This was the first game in a 5-game road stand, and that's tough at the end of the season, especially when you're 2-11-10. But now it's at the Monarchs where they're home, they're away, they're home and away. And when you get to the playoffs, that's what it's going to be. You're going to play a game at home, you're going to play a game away. Game at home, game away. Get that home field advantage throughout. You play that meaningful game here at home. That's what you need to, that's what, obviously, if he comes back here, it's hard to beat. But can you get shutouts? Can you post that 0 so those away goals aren't a factor?
And the Monarchs are also pushing for that regular season championship, the second in 2 seasons. That's a big thing for the boys. They want to see if they can get that victory. But we'll sign off here from Zions Bank Stadium from our wonderful production team here in Harriman, Utah. Chad Barrett, Landon Southwick, and we'll catch you next Saturday.
Dixon Johnson! You've got to be kidding me! Oh, what a finish! Prowling Spruce! Sunday the other way! Oh, what a goal! Near post! Oh, what a finish by Charlie Ward! And what a world-class goal that is from Didier Drogba! Great save for Strickland! Zizkian, diving stop! Must-see TV.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.